Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome to another stream here, and I just wanted to start by saying, thanks for all of your support so far. We're going to be doing another deck preview or event preview for the upcoming Dark event, which is called Elementium Draconis. And there was a question in chat that is asking what time it is right now. I'm on the Pacific Standard Time in the US. So right now we are right at 8:27 p.m. And so thanks for everybody who's joining us in the some mornings and evenings for everybody. We got people from Sweden, California, and so thank you all for joining us. And just want to say hi to everybody. Glad to see everybody coming out, and also wanted to give a quick update. So this is actually going to be my last stream for a few weeks. I'm going to be unavailable. We're gonna take some time. My family and I, we're gonna take some time. We're gonna go and travel around a little bit, and so not going to have any of my computer equipment with me, so I'm not going to be able to do streams, but I'll probably try and be active still on the network chat. And if possible, I'll see how remote upload works with the phones. If I can, I'll do some videos here and there. But I do have some videos that I have prepared ahead of time, so that I will have them released over the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for it. It is going to be something a little bit different than what I normally do. So hope you guys enjoy it. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at, the event that is about to start. There are some changes that is coming to the event itself, and at the same time, there are basically no new mechanic as far as I can tell from the cards themselves. So first, let's take a look at the news feed, right? So if you've had a chance to take a look at a news feed, you'll notice a couple things. The first one is they're saying that the ultimate form card now has 2 counters. This is actually not the first time that's happened. The first time that we've had that is actually the Fire Counter-Strike deck, or the Fire Strike team, I think the Fire Tech. And then the second thing is Prestige. So you can now there's a new mechanic that they've introduced into the Commander events now, where they're going to allow you to reset your bosses to level 1 after you've reached the maximum level, which is 300. So he resets it to 1, but when you do that, you basically will increase the base strength of the bosses, and it comes with increased trophies and everything else along with it. And you can do this up to 5 times, so you can reset it 5 times. And so this is something completely new. It is going to introduce a new way to play go against the bosses, basically. But until the event starts, I can't really say how good this will be. The first thing is really, how much will the trophies actually go up by, and how much will the health and the attack of the bosses go up by? Not really sure, but what I can say is that the nice thing about this is that typically in Commander events, you would always go up to about level 200 for regular boss, and then you start going into solo legend bosses. Solo legend bosses have higher trophy count, but they don't allow you to use your killer skill. And so what this will do is this will allow you to stay in the boss that actually gives you the ability to do a killer skill while also giving more rewards. So again, it's a question of when it's going to sort of meet the solo legend trophy count. Whether it's 2, 3, times to prestige, I'm not sure. We'll have to see when that comes out. So keep an eye out for that. We will we'll have to see when the event starts. I'm probably not going to play very much. I am going to be mostly busy this whole event, but I'll keep an eye out and see what everybody's doing. And also, there's going to be a relic surprise. So you don't get relic materials this time when you get a head start. Instead, you're going to get keys. So I'm not sure what the surprise is going to be. I guess we'll just have to wait and see when it comes out. And so that's pretty much it for the news feed there. And thank you, Debbie Moss. And yeah, we are looking forward to some time off there. And so the deck itself, will this deck be worth the investment? That's always the question. And I will, I'll start by saying that this is not a new mechanic. And So Andy Kessler, the first was the Slayer Gentex. Thanks. I guess I messed that up. Yeah. So yes, it was a fire deck. I knew that much. So this is the second time that the ultimate form has two dispels, and you've seen various sort of incarnations or variations of this style. And so what this is a Master Collection card, Galleon Molten Dragon. It will create 3 Dark Power Gem 4s, and then when it's under the effect of Elementium Attunement, it's going to create 2 additional Power Gem 4s. So this is a very similar mechanic to the what is it? Smoldering, and I think Overflow, and there are other names that it goes by. I think Madness was the last one, and this is actually the second Dark Commander deck that has a similar style. But instead of doubling the number of power gems, this one actually creates 1 less. So you're gonna create a total of 5 power gems under the effect of Elementium Attunement. So the maximum number of power gems you can get is 5, but it does have a lower cooldown, right? So you can see here it has a 3-turn cooldown, so that means every 3 turns you'll be able to activate this to get 3 power gem 4s. And so in that way, it kind of balances this out so that you don't have to wait 4 or 5 turns to try and get your power gems again. So this makes the Master Collection card a little bit more versatile to use every 3 turns instead of it being a 5-turn or 4-turn type card. But it does mean that it is going to be a little bit weaker even if you paired it with your support card, which is how you're going to get this empowerment. And so in that sense, from a commander deck perspective, it means it's going to have lesser attack power for you to get the overkill bonus. And so this is something that I'm not sure how I feel about, but I can tell you that this has been done multiple times. This is actually the 6th time I've seen this, sort of variation of mechanics, so I'm pretty familiar with it at this point. There is a passive that gives you an attack increase up to 30%, and I can't remember how it compares to the other Master Collection cards, but generally a 30% attack increase in commander events isn't that as great as you think it might. So it's not going to actually improve that much compared to if you're in a Slayer event. So I typically don't look at the attack boost because it simply isn't as, it just simply doesn't make as much of a difference. So really what we're looking at is the number of power gems you can create here. Again, the total power feels like it's going to be a little bit weaker, but then if you look at the stats, though, the stats are going to be a lot higher. Again, you can see here, level 1, it already has close to 7,000 attack. If you look at the ultimate form, it's at 7,500. And so they've decreased the number of power gems, but they've increased the attack power. And so that's where the balance is coming in, I believe, right? So we can take a look at the ultimate form here as well. The ultimate form will have also 3-turn cooldown, and its battle skill is going to, create power gems for 2 turns, power gem 2, but only one of them for 2 turns, and then it will create 3 dark power gem 2s and 4 power gem 4s. And then if at the time there is the Elementium Attunement, it'll create additional 2 power gem 4s. So basically, you can actually pair this with an ultra rare card or a support card, and then you could get a total of 6 power gem 4s and 3 power gem 2s when you activate the card. So the ultimate form is pretty powerful. It does create a lot of power gems in that regard, and it has 3-turn cooldown. And so this will be a good card to use for a dark deck. And you can also pair this with a lot of other dark cards. Dark actually has a lot of good cards you can use with this. And so, if you can get the ultimate form, I think that it feels like it might be even a little bit better than the previous one. And also because it's a dragon card, there are other dragon cards in the deck that power dragons. And so you could also use that to your benefit. And so this one also increases the attack up to 30%. And this is a Noble Killer. So Noble Killer is going to be strong against cards like Highborn and Human. And I think Magitech as well. And so that's the ultimate form, and we can take a look at the ultra rare card. So Enduro's King of Storms is a ultimate ultra rare card that creates one dark power gem for 2 turns, and then on turn 3 will create additional power gems and then activate Elementium. So what's different here is that instead of taking 4 turns to power up your Master Collection card and your ultimate form, it only now takes 3 turns. So it's going to feel faster. It's going to feel faster compared to the previous, previous sort of iterations of this deck. Compare that to when you used Smoldering, like Magma Ventrix. It's 4 turns before you can actually activate everything, and so it just felt a little bit slower because every additional turn that you need to wait, after a while is going to add up. And so this will actually make it feel a little bit faster, and this actually works, in at least good synergy with cards like Hell and Soul Reaper. So in this regard, you can actually pair your Master Collection card with those cards, and they will be able to power your cards up at around the same time. And so this opens up a little bit more options. And so to me, because it has better synergy with some of the other cards, that makes it, that's where the balance point for me comes in. And so I kind of feel like, okay, so there's that redeeming quality, and that's how I feel about it. And so, hey, what's up, Pequin and Carius and everybody else? Just saying hello here. And we got West Virginia, Lily. All right, so let's see. Rebecca Johansson, you saw my post on my team. Am I going to use Slayers? And so the answer is I will probably start with that. I'm going to finish up the support card, and then we will go on to talk about what I'm going to use. So this is the support card, and this basically does the same thing that we're used to, except this will last just 3 turns. So every card now has a 3-turn cooldown, and it's going to create 5 gems after 2 turns. So on the 3rd turn, it'll create 5 gems. So this is going to act a lot faster, which is really good. I can't remember how long. Let's take a look at the card that was from before. I think if you take a look at the previous version of this, I think it had a 4-turn cooldown. And if you take a look at the fire version of this, so that's Magma Ventrix. And if you look at the Smolder Source, this is really the first iteration of this. It also had a 4-turn cooldown. So basically it had a 1-turn, reduction in the overall turns. So it's going to be a little bit quicker. But, it being a little bit quicker is not really, to me, as impactful in a Commander event. It feels more effective in a Slayer event to have it be, 3 turns for a cooldown, so you can hit, more often. Because ultimately you want to hit, in the big burst in Commander events. You want to have one giant attack so you can get the overkill as opposed to a bunch of small attacks to try and take out the boss. Because just taking out the boss isn't quite good enough in Commanders. And so that's why, to me, I kind of wish that it wasn't nerfed quite, in that sense. But again, with the stats being higher, it will probably balance out a little bit. So anyways, let's see here. So on the scale of Bio Blitzer to Lovers, where does it lie? I don't think anything really quite beats Bio Blitzers. In this particular case, I think that in terms of the Dark Commander decks, I feel that it's probably in the middle of the road for me. I think the increase in stats and the increase in stats overall, I think, makes it a bit more viable deck. And because it can power up Hell and Soul Reaper as well, I think it. Let me see. I'm trying to see which deck would actually beat that in a Commander event. This is our 4th Dark Commander event, and I suppose it probably is, right there, like right in the middle, if not the second for me. So it's not bad. It's not a bad deck. I don't want to make it feel like it's a really bad deck to invest in. I just think that I wished it created a little bit more power gems, because we always like to see a little bit more power. So that's how I feel about it. And so will I take some time to help? I'm not sure if I'm going to get a chance to do that this time around, because as I mentioned, today is going to be my last stream for a few weeks. And so I'm not going to be able to do the Thursday streams, unfortunately, until I get back. And so let's see here. So for me, I've collected all of my my dust so far, and I think that this is going to be a good card for you to get. So Guardian of Gaul is a card that's also available in the dust shop. So unfortunately, getting this is not as exciting anymore because you could potentially pull this from the 20 dust shop. But this card at 6 stars is going to be really useful because it will create a dark power gem 2 for every 5 dark gems on the board when it's at 6 stars. So this is a 5-star stat, and so if you have abilities to actually fill up the board with gems, then this card will actually give you a lot more power gems. And it being a event card, it'll have the 10 times commander bonus. And so you can see I actually put this in my deck for my Battle Blitzer deck right here, just so that I can also get the 10 times commander bonus. But I'm not going to get any ultimate form bonus this time because this is Noble Immortal Killer, and there's going to be no bosses this time that will be weak to Immortal Killer bonus. And so I'll start with this still regardless. I think it'll still be a good deck to start for some bosses, but I'm going to play around and we'll see what happens. And so let's see here. Any other questions? No. Okay, so as usual, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the packs here. What I wanted to show was that I'm actually pretty close. I'm actually close to crafting it. So I'm at 11.4 for Master Collection and 12.3 for the Ultra Rare. If I play the event, I'll probably get enough to get them, but it's more likely that I'll probably end up getting enough dust for the next Dark Slayer event, which I'm more excited about anyway. But regardless, I am going to open up a couple of tiers so that we could see where we get, because it also will give me some nice dust. So let's go ahead and open to at least tier 3, I suppose. And we'll see what we get. So there's a Guardian of Gaul, nice. And let's see how much dust we get. So we get 1,000 dust there. And after this, I'm also going to pull the Head Start pack so we can see what that's all about. And we're going to go to tier 2. Not expecting any luck really, but we'll just kind of, mostly I just wanted to see what dust I get. So 800, so that sucks because I wanted to hopefully get at least 1,000. And we're gonna go and open up tier 3 now. So let's see. So no Master Collection card, unfortunately, and we get, this is Cannon, so that's another event card. And we're going to get another 1,000 dust here. And so now our dust count is going to be, we're going to be at 14.2, so another 2.6 thousand for Master Collection card. And if I pull the same number of tiers, then we're going to get about roughly the same, probably 14.6 or something like that. And so no Master Collection card for me this time. I think it would be worth it just because it has lower turn cooldown and this can power up other cards. And so this will go well with your Hell and also Soul Reaper, as I mentioned before. Some of the other cards that will go well, also like we've already talked about, is going to be Guardian of Gaul. And what you want to do is you want to try and, put cards that can generate lots of dark gems. Power gems would be best because the more power gems you have, then the more you can actually add to the board itself. Cannon is a good card if you have health related issues, so it's going to be a really good card to use if you're going to go up against Ultimate Boss. So Cannon being a this card will also heal. So what this card will do is it'll heal for 5% of missing health. It's not quite as strong as Wicked Queen, but it will give you a nice commander boost so that you can deal a little bit more damage if you're using a deck that has the ultimate or the killer bonus, so you can take down the ultimate bosses a lot easier that way. So that's what you should try. And let's see, so does that mean I'm not gonna craft this event? Yeah, so I was just hoping to get lucky with my pulls, and since I'm most likely not gonna be playing the event, because if I play, I literally will probably play for a day, and then I'm going to end up not playing at all. I'll just drop down to King's League, and so probably just gonna wait until the next event because I'll be able to get enough dust for the Dark Slayer event. So that's probably what I'm gonna do anyways. And so let's see. So that's pretty much that for the event here. So my personal take on it is, it's not a it's not a mechanic that we're not used to. So there are plenty of videos that I've made that kind of explain how this deck works. I can share some of that a little bit later. But what I could do is, I'll talk to other people and see like how the 3-turn cooldown actually changes the deck itself. I think that it's going to make it feel less painful to use if you're in a sort of long drawn out fight, but I just question on how much power you're going to be able to generate. Of course, anytime you have a full deck, you should be able to take out the ultra kill boss easily, but up against a ultimate boss, I wonder how it's going to actually how it's actually going to work. And also, I don't know how this is going to work against prestige bosses. So prestige boss, at what level is it going to be too difficult? At what level is it going to be optimal? That remains to be seen. And so let's see, just got nothing in your packs, but you got some good Commander and Slayer cards, so maybe you can just craft the Master Collection card. Here you are. And yeah, so I don't think this is a deck that I wouldn't say don't craft the cards. So that's how I feel about it, because I think by removing sort of that need to wait for 4 turns so that you can double the number of power gems, it sort of makes the deck a little bit more usable, a little bit more versatile. And so compared to the last Fire Commander deck, where I just kind of feel like that's just not a great deck for me to advertise, I actually don't think this is a bad idea. I actually don't think this is a terrible deck, so that if you get it, I don't think it's going to really make you regret it. And so Carius, yes, I will definitely build a couple of decks, and I'm just going to keep it in my cards here, and then you can take a look. Another thing I can also do is I wanted to show you this. So I saw this in the forum actually the other day, and this is a deck builder. So you can see the I can post a link to this, but basically this is what it looks like. So if you wanted to actually, let's say we want to do Dark Affinity. And so let's say you wanted to, build a deck, right? We're just going to randomly build some decks here. And let's say that this is the deck that I'm going to recommend for people. I actually think that this is a pretty good tool. And what you can do is you can actually create a shareable link. And then what you can do is you can say, here's my deck. And then, you kind of want to keep the leader in the middle as well, so that you could, make it consistent with how people normally will see their cards. And now you can say, hey, here is a link to this particular deck that might work for you. And what's nice is you can actually give them a visual way to see the deck based on the cards that they have. Now, remember, one of the things I used to do was I would go to somebody's deck, and then I would kind of sort through all of these, and I'll talk about the cards, but then I would even forget sort of like what cards I mentioned. Whereas if I can have a visual way to sort of select the cards and then build it and then talk about the activation order, I think that will actually be very helpful. So check out that link. I think it's really cool. Obviously, it's still work in progress, but what I know is that it is something that is still being worked on. And so this is a Legendarius, I believe is the name. So kudos to the work there, and check it out. Hopefully you guys get a chance as well. I think it's kind of cool. And so let's see. What I will do is let me go and find it. Actually, let me go and find this. See if I can put. I think as the admin, I could post links. So there's a link to the deck builder. Play around with it, and check it out. So Carius, you stalk me. That's totally fine. You can totally stalk me as much as you want. And Tiki Bang Bang. So it's a good card. It can create, this card creates 3 power gem 4s, and it just got a 6-turn cooldown. So I mean, it'll work out, because basically you just have to let the Master Collection card recycle twice, and then you're going to be able to use him again. So this is a early version of the Dark Commander deck that actually creates cards, but it's really slow. So that's the only thing. With the Master Collection card, Ultra Rare, and the Ultimate Form, it'll definitely work. I would recommend, this is one of those rare things where I would say, if you have Soul Reaper, put them in. If you have Hell, put them in. You're going to get more damage output with that than some of the other options that you can see, just because you can get a lot more power gems overall. And so would I would I please keep the UR, MC, and UF to a minimum? So for my deck, the decks that you can see, you're probably not going to see the Master Collection card in the ultra rare, just because, yes, you can see I didn't pull it. So the deck ideas I'm going to have are going to be mostly whatever I can get my hands on. And so don't worry, it's going to be as what I normally try to do. I usually try to make sure that my deck ideas are more or less accessible to as many people as possible. And so you got a Gallium on tier 1, 2, and 3. Are you saying you got the Master Collection card, 3 Master Collection cards on 3 tiers? That is awesome. So that is really good. So I think you're going to have a very fun event then. Yeah, so the deck builder is so Domino76, I believe that is yours. And so I wanted to give some kudos there. Just a shout out to the community who is doing some good work. And so again, as people you might have already seen from some of the comments here, I am going to be away for the next few weeks, but I will have content out there. I would love to hear your feedback on what you think about it. It is going to be new content. Something I've never done before, but something that I've always wanted to do. And so I think it's going to be, I think it's interesting. I think it's fun. At least I'm considering it to be a mini series. So nothing that I'm expecting to draw out for a very long time. But if people like it, then I'll probably continue to do that. And so, yeah, so two Soul Reaper. Yeah, I mean, use the Soul Reaper and give it a try. I think that Tipa Lung has 6 turn cooldown, so it's a more of a one-shot wonder. Whereas with Soul Reaper, you can really time it with your Master Collection card. If you have 3 of them now, you can just use those 3, and even if you don't get the ultra rare, I think you're gonna be just fine. And so, so for Ilana, so Liliana, that's what I meant. I think that's going to be a good event for you. So I'm very happy to see that. Congratulations. Aw, I'm gonna miss everybody as well. But I'm really excited to to take some time. It is summer, so we're going to enjoy some family time, some bonding, and my son and I were going to play a lot of games, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time with my daughter as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And so. So that's pretty much, what I wanted to cover in today's stream. It is a little bit shorter, I think, but I feel like I've covered all the things I wanted to. We do have Ascended Bounty Dungeons, so don't forget about that. And the one thing I did say I was going to do is I was going to open up the Head Start pack. So when you open this, normally you get, well, they said that they were not going to give you... Okay, so they originally said they weren't going to give you the evolution relics, but... evolution materials, but they did, and on top of that they also gave you some keys, so that's nice. And so I think maybe they won't give you the relic evolution materials, so you can still evolve your cards, just not the relics. That's going to come from the rewards. Curious what it's going to be. So regardless of whether or not I'm going to play the event, I'll still buy the relic, and I'll be checking that out. And so yeah. So that's all for me for today. I just wanted to say thanks. Thanks for joining me for the stream. I think that just very thankful for all of you joining, and we are seeing consistently a good turnout for this. When I come back, we will also have some special surprise. I'll have something special for you guys when I come back. So keep an eye out. If you haven't subscribed yet, this is one of the rare times where I will say, if you subscribe, then you're actually going to be able to keep more up to date with what I'm doing in the community tab. So I actually, from time to time, I will post questionnaires and I'll post updates as well. And so, but I don't believe you get to see it if you're not a subscriber. So if you subscribe, you'll be able to keep in touch and sort of stay in the loop with some of the things. But I will say that when I come back, there'll be something that's special that I'll be planning for everybody. And so that's all for this episode, everybody. And I just got an invite to Sweden to check out, to say hello to Astrid Lindgren's World. Okay, that's say hi on Astrid Lindgren's World. Hey, that's okay. I'll take you up on that offer there. Thank you everybody for the well wishes, and I hope you guys have a good event. And also, I will see you guys when I get back. Take care. All right. See you guys later. Bye.